Imagine waking up in Renaissance Italy, in a bed with embroidered sheets, but having no idea that the only thing that will embroider your story is tragedy after tragedy. You're young, beautiful, and from a wealthy, traditional family. Sounds perfect, right? Until you discover that this basically means your life doesn't belong to you. It's a bargaining chip in family feuds that started long before you were born. Your last name weighs more than the air you breathe. Everyone knows who you are, who your parents are, who they hate, and who they swear to destroy. And you are just the weakest piece on a board of vengeful people. Being a real-life Juliet isn't about poetry in the moonlight. It's about hiding behind heavy curtains while your father yells at your mother about who you're going to marry or who will die if you don't. Meanwhile, outside, a real-life Romeo is climbing the garden wall. It sounds romantic, but in reality, he's a pretentious teenager, carrying empty promises and perhaps a dagger hidden at his waist. In your mind, it's true love. In his, it's drunken rebellion on cheap wine. He whispers pretty words, but doesn't mention that getting caught here means they could both wake up dead tomorrow. But you don't think about that either. You just think that, for the first time, someone looks at you as a person and not as a peace contract between two bloodthirsty families. So, hidden in a damp corner of the garden, you swear eternal love to a boy you don't even know very well. He promises he'll get you out of there. You believe him. The next day, your wet nurse notices your silly smile. She tries to warn you, "Girl, this is trouble." But you laugh, ignore her, and send her hidden notes, as if it were a joke. But playing with rich families armed to the teeth is like playing with poison. Sooner or later, someone will swallow it. Meanwhile, the whole city is in turmoil. The feud between the Montagues and the Capulets never stops. Every corner has a hot-headed cousin. Every tavern has a spy. Do you think true love conquers on? In Verona, true love is just another way to dig your grave faster. Romeo kills a relative in a street fight. Sure, it was an accident, defense, honor, but for his family, it is unforgivable. And guess who's in the middle? You, Juliet, in love, crying in secret, kissing the blood-stained handkerchief of the boy who just turned her life into a powder keg. Now, if this were a beautiful story, Romeo would run away with you to some faraway village. But real-life Italy is not the setting for a fairy tale. It's a network of gossips and a priest who listens to everything in the confessional. The priest who should be advising you only makes things worse. He suggests tricks, potions, disguises, secret messages. You, desperate, accept. You think, "I'll go to sleep dead to wake up free." But who can guarantee that when you wake up, you'll find Romeo alive? No one tells you that. In Verona, a good messenger is a dead messenger. Tickets don't arrive, letters get lost, mouths talk too much. So there you are, lying in a cold crypt, breathing in the smell of candles and damp stone, pretending to be dead so you can escape alive. What a brilliant plan. Meanwhile, Romeo comes running in. He sees you motionless, pale, beautiful as never before, and he thinks it's over. If he were smart, he would have put his finger on your neck and felt your pulse. But no, the real Romeo doesn't do that. He just cries, screams, kisses your cold forehead, and draws out the poison. A bottle in your mouth, 2 sips, and that's it. You planned to run away to live, but now you wake up to die. When your eyes open, his body is lying on the floor. His mouth is purple, his eyes are empty. You swallow your tears, grab his dagger, look around, and realize no one is coming to save you. In the play, it's beautiful, dramatic, poetic. In real life, it's a filthy ending. Blood on the floor, the smell of death, the sound of rats deep in the crypt. And so ends the great romance. Two young people, 2 broken families, 2 open graves. Who won? The same old men who still control Verona. And you, Juliet, now understand, loving was easy, surviving love was impossible. If you were lucky, maybe you would become a legend, a poem whispered in alleyways, graffiti scrawled on old walls. But in the end, no one cares who you were. The people return to the market, buy fish, laugh at the merchant's jokes. Your name is just another badly told story on a street corner full of bad wine. So the next time you hear Romeo and Juliet, remember, it's not a romance, it's a warning. A warning that sometimes loving too much is the slowest way to kill yourself. And that every Juliet, made of flesh and blood, deserved a better ending. It's a shame that in real life, no one writes happy endings for young women who dream too big. If you think the poison was the worst, I'm sorry to say it wasn't. The worst was the silence afterwards. The empty crypt, the cold body, the family arriving too late to cry, to scream, to blame themselves, but never to change the ending. The employees clean the floor. The priest looks like he tried to help, but deep down, he was just an accomplice in a mess that not even he could control. Your father, who used to shout orders like a general, now sobs into your stained dress. Your mother, who taught you to smile at parties, now trembles with shame because everyone in town will point the finger. The rivals? They chuckle softly. After all, one less problem. 2 young people buried are worth more than 1,000 peace agreements. Verona breathes again, as if nothing had happened. Meanwhile, Romeos and Juliets are being born once more. Other girls from important families are promised, exchanged, sold at candlelit dinners. You become a living, or rather dead, reminder of how easy it is to silence a voice that dreamed too big. If she were smart, some say, she would have run away alone. She would have agreed to marry the arranged suitor, fake smiles, cheat behind his back if necessary. Surviving is smarter than loving. But you didn't want that, did you? You wanted that pure love written in poems. You wanted that stolen kiss behind the curtain, the whisper on the balcony. Well then, you had it. And with it, you gained the bitter taste of wine mixed with poison. Those who look from the outside think it's beautiful. Romeo and Juliet, what a couple! What no one talks about is the musty smell of the tomb, the coldness of the marble on your skin, the dirty knife left in a corner. In Verona, no one learns. Years pass, clothes change, names change, but the history repeats. Girls swearing eternal love to boys who can't protect them from anything. The balconies are still there, the walls are still climbed, love is still written in hidden notes, and death, ever patient, waits around the corner.
Maybe in another life you were smart. You kept secrets, you played the game. Maybe you were the one who ordered the killing of rivals, who decided who kisses who marries who. Maybe she was a queen, not a martyr. Maybe her story wasn't written by white-bearded men who never knew what it was like to hide behind curtains to escape a forced marriage. But no, you were Juliet, the girl who believed in love, in the plan, in the letter that never arrived. The priest who helped you, in the official story, he is a saint, a hero. In reality, he made all the mistakes. But priests make mistakes. They confess, they forgive themselves. Juliets don't. Juliets paid with their lives. Meanwhile, Romeo, he became a legend, the passionate stallion, the man who died for love. Romantic, right? But who remembers that he also killed, lied, ran away? In real Italy, no one wants to be Romeo. He leaves no inheritance, no honor, no clean name, just a tragedy for everyone to whisper about at the fair. You, Juliet, not even that. Dead women have no voice. Your father says she was too innocent. Your mother whispers she trusted too much. In the end, it's all your fault for loving, for dreaming, for believing, and no one cares that with you. Outside in the square, other young people look at each other. They exchange smiles, they climb walls, they write notes. Because deep down, no one believes that the story is real until they experience it firsthand. You have become a fantasy, a postcard in Verona. Couples take pictures on the balcony without knowing that this is where love died in the most stupid way possible. Some throw flowers, leave notes, others kiss, laugh, make promises. If they knew what really happened there, they would turn around and run. But human beings like romance, no matter how much it hurts, bleeds, or kills. As long as there's a balcony, there will be Romeo. As long as there's Romeo, there will be Juliet. So you sleep in the crypt, forever young, forever beautiful, forever dead. A silent reminder that too much love in the wrong hands always ends with someone left on the cold stone floor. If someone asked you if they gave you a second chance, you might say, live first, love later. But no one asks, because tragedy sells more than advice. So Verona goes on, the bells ring, the tourists come and go. The world pretends it has learned its lesson, but it hasn't, and it never will. Meanwhile, Juliet's are born every day. Maybe even now, reading this, there is one sitting on the edge of the bed, writing a letter, swearing love to someone who is not worth the drama. If you can, do it differently. Break the window, climb down the ladder, burn the notes, and above all, never trust a Romeo who promises too much. Because in real life, being Juliet is not a happy ending. It's just a slow, beautiful, painful way to die for someone who, on the last page, wasn't even worth half the poison.